You're listening to CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living. To learn more about who we are, what we do, and how we do it, call toll-free 1-866-928-3310, and we'll send you out a no-obligation information kit absolutely free. 866-928-3310. The CFRN Emini Futures Cast is now on Stitcher. Listen to us on your iPhone, Android phones, BlackBerry, and WebOS phone. Stitcher is smart radio for your phone. Find it in your app store or at Stitcher.com. Stitcher Smart Radio, the smarter way to listen to radio.
Are you ready, Steve? Andy? Yeah! Bert? Well, all right, fellas.
You're listening to CFRN, the Christian Financial Radio Network.
Today's broadcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download at www.audibletrial.com/CFRN. Over 85,000 titles. Choose from mystery, romance, religion, science, technology, business, New York Times bestsellers, even children's books. You name it, Audible has it. With 85,000 titles to choose from, you're sure to find the perfect audiobook for yourself or to give as a gift, and it's absolutely free. Just point your browser to audibletrial.com/CFRN. That's audibletrial.com/CFRN. And become a part of the audiobook revolution by downloading your free audiobook today. audibletrial.com/CFRN.
Hey, trader, want to get rich quick? Well, good luck with that. If, on the other hand, you actually want to learn how to trade, the place to be is www.CFRN.net. Tune in Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern for our daily devotional, and then spend the next 3 hours learning how it's done from professional traders who actually trade for a living. That's www.CFRN.net. Every trading day from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern. CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living.
Good afternoon, traders, and welcome back to the CFRN Emini Futures Cast. This is the daily broadcast of Indeterminate Length, where we discuss all things Emini, along with some really big ideas on the finer points of trading gold, bonds, crude, sugar, the euro, and even T-bills. Joining us today from our studios in Boston, Mr. Michael Bork. From our trading desk in Chicago, Mr. Burton Schlichter. Now, to get things started, let's go to our host and founder in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Here's Dwayne.
Good afternoon. Welcome back. Today is Friday, 31st day of January, 2020. Thanks so much for joining us. Whoever you are, wherever you are, we're just glad to have you right here, right now. If you cannot see the screen I have up, go to our homepage at CFRN.net. On the right-hand side of the page, click the big microphone, follow the instructions. You'll be registered in about 30 seconds, and that will give you one-click access to the show each and every day. That's also the link that allows you to participate in the discussion. Just type your questions right into the chat box. On the days you're out of the office, away from the desktop, not to worry. Point any internet connected browser, could be your phone, could be your tablet, could be the guy sitting next to you on the bus, could be his laptop. Just point it to CFRN.net/live. There you will find a live, real-time simulcast of the show as it unfolds. We also stream live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Now, that's 2 hours out of the day. This is a 24-hour-a-day world we live in. So the other 22 hours of the day, just point your browser to CFRN.net, click the Listen Live button. You'll find some of the best preaching and teaching this side of heaven. So check it out. Okay, we have a very, very special guest joining us today, top of the hour, 1 p.m. Eastern. Dr. Greg Gary. He is known as the People's Economist. We're going to talk about the importance of owning gold. We're going to talk about how you can own gold for literally pennies on the dollar. He's going to share a lot of information with us, and he's going to take questions from the audience. So the second hour today, it's going to be a great hour. Stick around for that. Let me bring up a chart of the S&P 500 Emini Futures real quick here. Let's jump over to the daily chart. We're coming out of the bottom of that price channel. Okay. Now this channel, we first touched the bottom October 3rd of last year. That's our swing low. Our swing high came in on January 22nd. Okay. Top of the channel, bottom of the channel. So we went from the bottom to the top. We hit the bottom twice here. To the top, we hit the top several times. Back to the bottom, back to the top, back to the bottom, back to the top, back to the bottom. And what's happening right here is very, very important. Now, I've drawn fibs from the low to the high. We're right on top of a 24% Fibonacci retracement. That's the shallowest fib retracement. Okay. Below that, we've got the 38% fib, which puts the S&P down around 3153. The one I've got my eye on is this 50% fib retracement. Exact number 3097-ish. I'm calling it 3100. Is that a forecast or a prophecy that the S&P 500 is headed to 3100? Well, here's what I think. I think it's a high probability. We don't have we have no scheduled economic reports this afternoon to move the market. Over the weekend, with so much going on in the world, from the impeachment to the coronavirus to Iran, I mean, you name it, there's stuff. News can come out of anywhere at any time. I recommend that you watch the chart. The chart is better at telling you when to go watch the news than the news is at telling you when to go look at a chart. If things are quiet, if we close here or perhaps lower on the session, I suspect, without anything to give us a lift, no positive news under our wings, we're going to see substantially lower prices Sunday night. Okay? That's not a forecast or a prophecy. That's just a statement of fact. Okay? Now, again, let's look at these levels. The 24% fib, 3223, 38%, 3153. And again, the one I really got my eyes on here, the 50% Fibonacci retracement, 3100. Okay? Now, not suggesting we're going to get there today. We may not get there Sunday night. But unless we get some kind of positive, uplifting news, buyers are starting to back away. Now, when it comes to the markets, especially the indices. Of course, a large contingent of sellers can depress individual stocks. It's a little more difficult to do that with the S&P 500 because of the sheer volume and liquidity. Any one person, any one institution has a hard time moving the market. It's almost impossible. Now, with lower price stocks, in particular penny stocks, if you got $500,000 in your account, you could push that thing all around any which way you want, whenever you want. One of the reasons I left equities and came to the futures market, came to the indices. The thing that can take markets lower quicker than anything else is when buyers realize that they're not having any success rallying the market. In other words, every time they send it up, it gets knocked back down. They bid it up, it gets knocked back down. They reach a pain point where, sort of en masse, like a school of fish, they throw their fins up in the air and go, I'm out of here. In other words, they stop buying. When buyers stop buying, that's when the market drops like a rock. Now, you'll find bottom feeders. Each time we put in a little swing low on the way down, the bottom feeders will come in, they'll nibble, they'll buy, they'll push it up a little bit. But when they see they aren't making any real progress, what do? They step back. If you're a buyer of Emini Futures or tennis shoes, would you rather buy a pair of shoes for $100 today or $50 tomorrow? Same pair of shoes. Would you rather pay $100 today, or would you rather pay $50 tomorrow? I think everyone in the audience just raised their hand and said, yeah, I'll hang out till tomorrow and get them for $50, right? Everybody loves a bargain. So if this thing drops to 3,100, will it still be the same S&P 500 E-mini? Yeah. Will it still be comprised of all the same companies? Yeah. Will it still have the same upside potential that it has right now? No. It'll have more. So actually you're getting a better product at a better price. Who doesn't love that, right? So that's what we're thinking, that's what we're watching. Let's do this. Let me give you the numbers from around the world, the cash markets, okay? And then Michael will give us a recap of what happened in the live training room this morning. And then I will go through the Concierge Trade Alerts and the Logic 247 alerts from last night. I think we had a couple of humdingers in there. It's a technical term. We'll chat with John, and we're going to try to get all that done by the top of the hour because we wanted to be able to devote all of our attention to Dr. Greg Gary, the People's Economist. All right, here we go. We'll pull in some fresh data. Cash markets, starting here in the U.S., the Dow is down 425 points. NASDAQ down 102. S&P 500 down 43. And the Russell 2000 down 24. Now that's a drop of 1.5% for the Dow. It's over 1% for the NQ. It's over 1.25% for the S&P 500. And for the Russell, it's over 1%, 1.5%. Let's take a look in the commodity basket. All right, crude oil only down 4 cents today, trading 52.10 last. Gold down $2.50, trading 1586.70 last. In the Asian markets, at the close, Nikkei posted a gain 227 points. That's almost 1%. On the other hand, the Shanghai dropped 84. That's a loss of 2.75%. The Hang Seng only dropped 136 today. So that's just a drop of about 0.5%. Last but not least, in the European markets, at the close, the FTSE was down 95 points. DAX was down 175. The CAC was down 65. All three of them down more than 1% on the session. That gives us a mixed day in Asia, a red day in the UK. And so far, it's a big red Radio Friday here in the US of A. Let's get over to Michael, get that recap of what happened in the live training room today. I'll be back to do all the things I mentioned, and of course, answers to your questions. Are you ready?
All right.
You ready?
I am ready.
Take it away.
Yes. And I wanted to say to Bart, I think Bart's in here right now.
Hi,
he
Bart.
asked a question this morning that I didn't answer.
Okay.
And I just want to go over that. Well, I will go over it right now.
Okay, doke.
Here, let me take the charts over.
All right.
There we go. Because our goal is to answer every
Oh, and by the
single
way,
question.
Bart, I apologize for calling you a gentleman last night. I didn't mean any harm. No. He's always been a
All right.
gentleman to me. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
I am ready. It's snowing here. Holy crap. Well, I have a fleece on right now, but when I walk the dog later, she's not gonna know what's going on, because I don't think she's ever seen snow. And yeah, she's gonna wonder. It's a big deal when it snows down here. It's a good thing it's the weekend, because the kids don't end up missing school. Because it'll take them 2 days to clean up anything that collects, though nothing seems to be collecting right now. But anyway, let's get into it. All right, here we go. Today is Friday, the 31st day of January, 2020. If you have not taken free trial with us, go to the homepage at CFRN.net. Over here in the right-hand column, it says 5-day free trial, apply.cfrn.net. You can click on that or any of these other things that say free trial. And when you do, you'll be brought to this page. Right here on this page, it says eminitrainingschool.com. You can go directly to that page if you want to. But if you go to our homepage, there's a lot of information there that you may want to see. To sign up for the free trial, all we need is your name, your email, and your phone number. You can tell us your biggest trading challenge, so we can tailor one-on-one training specifically for you. Now, you have to sign up for the one-on-one training, all right? You don't automatically get signed up for it just by putting something in here. You got to put something in here and then sign up for it. Hit the send button, you'll be sent a confirmation link. You must click on the confirmation link, okay? If you don't click the confirmation link, we don't know that you took the free trial. Now, I have to go here and there and there. And apparently, somehow, during the break, changed this. So what I'm doing right now is bringing out the spreadsheet so I can show you what our results were for today. And anyone that's been here any length of time knows that we do the spreadsheet at the end of the morning session every day. Today, our first trade was on Crude. We actually lost 8 ticks on that one. And then our next trade was on the ES, and we picked up 16 ticks on that one. That gave us the goal for the day. All right. We had... Why is that there? Oh, okay. Yeah, that gave us the goal for the day. It took 34 minutes and 2 trades today to get to the goal for the day. At that point, we're up $120 a contract. And we took a total of 5 trades today. So on the month, we were up $2,798. That's over 9 days, averaging $147 per day. It's the same thing on the year because it's January. But let's go through what we did and didn't do. Now, I don't think we missed all that much this morning. Hang on, I'm waiting for gold to react here. All right. So we started out here with a break-even trade on gold. Now, we did miss this one right at the open. We missed that one. That would have gotten us gold for the day in one trade. But we ended up getting in two trades. We had a break-even there. And then gold was just back and forth all day and really didn't provide us a whole lot of opportunity. We had another break-even right there. And then during the break is when it happened. And that's what I was telling Paul. I don't know. Let me just go look and see if Paul's in here. Nope, he's not. That's what I was telling Paul earlier. You know, trading after 11:30 or between 9 and 9:30 are usually really good times to trade. Okay, and so I'll say that to all of you as well. But during the break, we had nice movement down here. Okay, and there was a couple of trading opportunities. One up here. Actually, no, that wasn't one. One here. It looks like one here. No, the cycle was going up too steep. Sorry. And that was it. So there was one trading opportunity during the break. But that's all you need to make your day. Okay, so on gold today, we ended up with break even. The euro, surprise, surprise. We didn't place a trade. It started out here, and it was just going sideways. And then we had this huge run right here. And I pulled back, and I didn't get filled right here. I tried, but I didn't get filled. And then it took off and put up the new high. And now it's just going to be choppy and sideways, probably for the rest of the day. Over here on the crude, we had some nice movement during the break. We started out on the crude with a stop out. We stopped out here, and then it went up and did what it should have done. Green line got up into the cycle. Then we missed this one, and we had a break even over here. So we ended up with -8 ticks on the crude. Now, let's go through the whole thing here, starting in the break. Yeah, see, there was a long trade right here during the break, a long trade right there during the break, a long trade right there during the break, nope, the cycle was going down too steep. Now it needed to reset that cycle, which it did, and then it started moving back up. But let's see, do we have any trades in here? Yeah, one long trade right there. And then it started going back down. So crude's been all over the map today. Now 53.56 is my number for crude on the day. And earlier today, I had Sid look at the 54 call options, and at the time they were at $340. We'll see what they are right now, but I'm sure they were pretty good in here because there was a shorting opportunity there, there, and that was it as far as the shorting opportunities went. Now, hold on, let's go look at those call options right quick. Yeah, now they're only up to 350. But the ones right above it, 53.5, we're at 490. We're at 490 when I recommended it, and now they're at 630. So I'm telling you, when it happens, it happens. Okay, let's do the ES. All right, on the ES, we had just one trade today. It looks like there was something during the break, and we missed a couple. All the ones I'm scrolling right now. I'm sorry if it's taking so long. All the ones that we missed would have been winning trades or break even. At worst, break even. Okay, so here we go. This was our one trade on the ES. We picked up 16 ticks on this trade. And then it got a little choppy and sideways, gave a shorting opportunity right here, which you would have hung on to till about down here. And it might have been a break-even trade. I drew the trend line up here, but it wasn't a trade because we needed to get below the MA1. It pulled all the way back down to the weekly trading zone. And then it did this. I don't even remember it doing that, but there was no trade opportunity in there. And there was a long opportunity right here that would have given you some profit potential, and a short opportunity right here that would have given you a little bit more profit potential. Now, I ended up missing both of those trades. And then we get into the break. And let's see what happened during the break. We put a new low on the day right here. Then it turned around and started moving up. Now, I wouldn't have done anything right in here. I would have waited until over here, right here. See, because the green line is pulled way away from the cycle down here. So I would have waited until over here and taken a long trade right there. Now, I'm still trying to scroll, and my data is just really slow. I don't know if my internet is just shocked because it's snowing out. Could be. It's always a possibility. Then there was a shorting opportunity off the BBC right here. Didn't put in a lower swing. Okay, so you needed to get down here to start looking for more short trades, but then the cycle started moving up. So there was nothing you could do. All right, and that was our morning. Okay, that is from 9:30 to now. Okay, so what we did today, again on the 31st day of January 2020, if you're going to read the spreadsheet, you got to read all the CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. We lost 8 ticks on crude and made 16 ticks on the ES. Put us at plus 120 on the morning session. Today it took 32 minutes and 2 trades to get to the goal for the day. And on the month now, we're at $2,798. That's over 19 days, averaging $147 a day. Same thing on the year. Okay. Now, if you have not taken a free trial, where is it? Here it is. If you have not taken a free trial, go to the homepage at CFRN.net. And right over here in the right-hand column, it says 5-day free trial, apply.cfrn.net. You can click on that or any one of these other things that say free trial. And they're all going to bring you to the same page, this one, eminitrainingschool.com. On this page, all we ask for is your name, your email, your phone number, and you can tell us your biggest trading challenge so we can tailor one-on-one training for you, specifically for you, and hit the send button. Right? Once you hit that send button, you'll be sent a confirmation link. Now, again, when you type this in here, it doesn't mean you're automatically getting it. It means that we're willing to do it. And, okay, all right, Dwayne. It means that we're willing to do it, but you have to ask for it. And, you can ask for it in the training room in the morning. You can ask for it through email, and if you want to do it with me or with Dwayne has 2 scheduled appointments daily that, you can take any one of those as long as it's not already filled. But me, I'm more flexible. If you want to meet with me at night, that's good. If you want to meet with me at 1 o'clock, in the afternoon, which is usually when I meet with people, is at 1 p.m. That's Eastern time. Then, you just have to let me know, and I'll be happy to arrange that. Okay, so Dwayne's going to be a couple of minutes, so let's just go through. I am so shocked to see snow. I haven't seen it in so long. We were talking about skiing earlier. Valerie, you said it was snowing over there too, right? In Kentucky? Valerie, she's not listening. Is anybody in Kentucky? Oh, good Lord. They're going to shut down the schools. They actually just sent me a text. Catawba County School System is monitoring the weather. And what time is it? 12:32. All right. Well, anyway, right now, we are just going sideways here, 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 and here. And we need that to change. Let's see. I want to see who's in here right now. Bart, did you see the ES trade? That was the thing you asked me about this morning that I didn't respond to. I'm sorry. Bart. Man, I'm scrolling. There it was. It was actually, I didn't need the trend line here because we hit the BBC. And this right here, guys, is our highest probability trade setup. I'm going to remove the trend line so it doesn't distract you. But we had lower highs, lower lows. We had a cross below the BBC. Now, down here, we had good separation between the green line and the cycle. You could have shorted right here if you really wanted to. But once we broke this dynamic support and pulled back up, hit the BBC, the cycle stayed, the MA1 stayed red the whole time, the whole way down. You see how steep the cycle was right there with that pull away right there. That's our highest probability trade setup. That's why I let that one ride. And I probably could have gone a little further with it, but once I got 16 ticks, I'm not going to be greedy. That is the trade setup that you had asked me about this morning. Okay. All right. Does anybody have any questions? Okay. You go.
All right.
You with the hand up.
All right. I'm back. Okie doke.
Okay.
All right, I'll grab the charts. Recap of the recap.
Today it took 34 minutes and 2 trades to get to $120 per contract.
That's a good bingo.
That is. Day after day after day. And we had.
And those are the magic words right there. If there's any magic, day after day. Most traders do have consistency in their trading. It's just on the wrong side of the tracks. Okay, you're going to be consistent on the other side of the street. That's why you're tuned in today. That's why you're listening to this radio broadcast every day.
You want to have green. Green every day. Even on the blue day, means I got my goal for the day after 57 minutes, but I had to keep trading. And if I didn't keep trading, I'd have gotten my goal and been positive. On this yellow day, well, that was just one of those days where, I didn't get my goal, but I ended positive anyway. On the last trade, I think. It was like right at the last minute. But, yes, being consistent is what you want. If you can make money every day doing what you do, then what more do you want? And with futures trading, you can multiply it by just adding more contracts. It's, not like with a convenience store where, you make money every day. Well, a lot of them don't. but you could make money every day. And yeah, when you have a 15% margin, and when I say margin, a 15% markup, so you got to sell a lot of stuff to make any kind of money. And the only way to make that better is to have more stores. But you can't just add on to the store that you have. You have to go in other places where there's population and people are going to come and buy from you. I don't know if you see my analogy here, but
I was distracted. Say it again.
Oh, I was saying. Okay, I was saying it's not like owning a convenience store, where your markup is 15%. With futures trading, you just add more contracts. Once you start being consistently profitable, you just add more contracts. That's like adding another store. If you had a convenience store, it'd be like adding another store, somewhere else that could also be profitable. That's what I was saying. That's the point I was trying to get across.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, let me figure out how to...
I cannot believe it is snowing here.
Yeah, I can't either.
And they're huge flakes.
Really?
No. Yeah. Yeah.
So when's the last time it snowed there?
Probably a year ago.
Oh, okay, so it does happen.
Yeah, once a year we get snow. Usually when we get it, like last year when we got it, we got 16 inches. And they shut everything down for 3 or 4 days. Like right now, if I go to the grocery store, I bet I can't buy bread. People see the snow coming down.
Really?
They're at the grocery store. Oh yeah, they're buying up all. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, let me see if I can do this and do this. Do that. Nope, can't do that.
Bert, are you out there? I don't know. Did you call Bert or talk to Bert yet?
I did. Yeah, and he's
Okay.
going to patch the call through when it comes in.
Okay, good. That's what I figured you were doing.
That's what I wanted to do. Now, the gentleman that will be joining us at the top of the hour that I mentioned, Dr. Greg Gary. This is the gentleman fired up for life, how to get and stay motivated. He's also a pastor, and he's known as the People's Economist. So we're going to have a great conversation with him. I'm really looking forward to it. I notified John, and John was going to try to pop in early so that we could have our conversation. John, welcome to the show. Okay, John's getting ready. John, your mic's open when you're ready. Now, let me bring up a chart. Let's take a look at the S&P here real quick. Here's how it's going to unfold, guys. By the time we finish talking with John, it's going to most likely be time to talk with Dr. Greg. And so I'll be doing a complete recap of the Concierge Trade Alerts and Logic 247, the whole boat, after we finish talking with Dr. Greg Gary. We've broken out of that channel, John. You see that?
Yeah. Look, this is a really dangerous market. We're in all kinds of trouble here. This is 87 light or even heavy all over again. And this, the VIXs, we took the VIXs home last night, thank God. And they're making new highs today. As the market can't rally. Every rally is being sold. Now there might be, an afternoon rally or a late rebound. You can never rule it out. You've got conflicting.
You're right. You can't rule it out, but it does not look to be the high probability at this point. But then that rally yesterday came out of nowhere.
Right. Well, you've got some insane things going on today. I mean, look, there's a kind of a learning curve to what I'm doing, but it is just amazing how well I'm able to kind of, I told you I had 3 different kind of incoming, sources, and being able to kind of line them all up is really remarkable. Just for the, we had Facebook as a sell right on the open this morning. The same with Roku. Roku's down about it, I don't know, $7, $8, $9, something like that. So that was a short. I think we're going to try and rally here, actually, in spite of it all.
So, John, take a look. This is my 30-minute chart, and we talked yesterday about the low of the week, which was right here. That's the low of the week, and that swing low was 32.33. We've taken that out now. And the lowest weekly trading zone this week for the S&P is down at 3182/83. I'm not forecasting or prophesying that we're going to drop to that number in today's session. But short of a miracle, I think we will see that number Sunday night, Monday morning. Now, over the weekend, we could get some good news. The president could send out a really positive tweet, or we could get good news about the coronavirus, good news about the impeachment. It's going to take something extraneous to get this market turned around. It's not just going to happen because people see, lower prices. That in and of itself, I don't think is going to create a buying frenzy. So, back to you.
Well, if you remember yesterday, I actually said, we should rally from here, and that turned out to be the low yesterday prior to this maniacal rally in the afternoon. Mm-hmm. Which, I've said before, why is the market, going up so strongly? It's because it's seeing stuff in the future that hasn't happened yet. And I also said I thought Amazon was a candidate to go up dramatically, and it couldn't have gone up more than dramatically than yesterday. Incidentally, our call on the British pound, with the Brexit going on, the pound is soaring today. The dollar is tanking. This is the last day of the month. We're going to put on, I think the dollar is done now. The fact that we're rallying in Europe and the Swiss and the pound are all rallying together. The Aussie and the Canadian are not. They're still in the dumps. But the European currencies are rallying, and here we go with a rally. It's actually happening. This is quite a big deal right now. So we may get. This market has a capacity. It sort of gets beaten up in the morning, and it has a capacity to rally in the afternoon. However, late this afternoon, I think it's more likely going to sell. Maybe not late, maybe in the early, because the problem with these rallies so far is we have we're like Apple. It's what's fascinating is in spite of everything, there are actually stocks that are going up very well today. The star performer, I guess, of my recommendation is XLRN, which is completely ignoring this whole market right now. And we got another buy on a company called RETA, RETA today, and that's going up quite well. As to also IBM gave us an early buy, but it's starting to come under pressure here. IBM might actually be a short here, going into the end of the day. FedEx was another, we had the FedEx. I mean, this crazy rally with FedEx and the airlines yesterday was kind of nonsensical, but it happened. And you just, the whole point is, you might think it's nonsensical, but it happened, and it was a really good tradable rally, as it turns out. What's happening today is we're negating these positive reversals yesterday across the board. I mean, and the crazy thing is, look at Tesla, got up to somewhere up around it's coming off now, Tesla.
Here's Tesla on a daily chart, John.
Right. I mean, Tesla could end up being an island top here, between today and yesterday. So it's very, very risky. I think to hold over the weekend. Probably the same with Amazon. If you could put Amazon up, see how it looks right now. AMZN. Yeah, I mean, that's a hanging man. So, you know, Amazon might spend one day above 2,000 and you might get the shock of your life, you know, on Monday morning. So I think, you know, and Apple, if you can put up Apple, I think Apple is really in tremendous trouble, frankly. I mean, it looks very, very bearish, that chart right now, assuming we close anywhere around here or lower. You know, I would call it dynamically bearish, actually. And the same
maybe
with
even
Facebook.
diabolically bearish.
Yeah, Facebook, FB.
Facebook.
Same. I mean, Facebook's in a lot of trouble. And let's have a look at Roku.
Now, we're at a level where we would anticipate support. We got these swing highs here on the daily, and then this last pullback before this, the last rally that we saw, this was the pullback, right, we're right there. Guys, there's a little dashed line.
Yeah.
Okay, resistance,
have a look
resistance,
at,
resistance, support. What's it going to be here? Support or resistance. That's going to determine what we see over the next few days. Put it on. What do you want to say? Go ahead.
Roku, R-O-K-U, Roku.
Oh, beginning next week, we'll be broadcasting the show live each day on our own Roku channel.
Oh, okay, cool. I didn't know you could get your own Roku channel. That's great.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that could be tremendous.
Yeah, I look forward to it. We'll probably have 24-hour programming, which will be previous days' shows, but the actual live show will be broadcast from 12 noon to 2 p.m. Eastern each day.
Yeah, not so sure we're going to get a rally in the afternoon after the way we're going. It's just looking very, very heavy.
Let's take a look at the S&P cash market. I mean, we got a leg, a retracement, a leg. I mean, if this right here doesn't hold, if we don't find support here, again, my number, now this is the the cash index, but on the futures, my number to the downside is 3,100. So we'll see.
Yeah, no, it's look, I think Monday is going to be a terrible day. You know, it just could be down 1,000 more points, 2,000 even. It's a really, you know, between Monday and Tuesday.
Our alert last night was to be short the S&P 3267, and we've dropped about 37 points so far.
Yeah, have a look at RETA. Let's look at that.
Retta. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very bullish chart, but it might be, you know, crimped.
It looks like it's ready to get just slapped down, along with everything else.
And have a look at XLRN.
XLRN. Okay. Acceleron. Well, they've held on to that gap. I mean, this is the strongest looking thing we've seen.
That's what I was betting on. So, but look, its minutes could be numbered. So it's definitely a problematical situation for Acceleron. So you know, I mean, if you're long, I'd put a stop on it. But you know, that's. But anyway, let's have a look at Microsoft.
Okay, MSFT.
Yeah, you know, they're all, I mean, we're set up for a real trouble here. This is going to be very hard to get past. I think, you know, this is exactly how it all happened. You know, there was remember I said there was a kind of an up Thursday. I think it was an up Thursday in 87, and then the down Friday, and we're in the down Friday right now. There's no doubt about it. So,
What
this
was
is
the next one? Did you just give me another symbol?
IBM. Let's have a look at IBM.
I haven't looked at Big Blue in a long time. Is that what they call it? Big Blue? Old Blue? Yeah, Big Blue.
Yeah. Yeah, it kept up today, but again, it's selling off from the highs.
The IBM Selectric 2.
Yeah.
That was a big deal back in the day.
Yeah. I mean, look, there's people like, I would say, Buffett is probably unloading a bunch of stock today. It's most of the big funds are probably panicked, and that's maybe they haven't even really started selling yet. This is kind of
a number of these stocks we've looked at are showing this same confusion. Like the market is it's sort of the opposite of a doji, but the market's trying to move in opposite directions at the same time. If you look at this in the scope of a week, I mean, there's a real struggle going on here, and the market needs something to give it the energy to get up and go. I'm going to take a look and see what we have for news or economic reports on Monday. See if we can, some good numbers might get us turned around. This thing's so fragile, though. Any misses or even near misses on any major economic report.
Yeah, let's have a look at Beyond, BYND.
BYND.
That's headed down big time.
Yep. If it takes out this support level right here, yeah, that's one that this thing could go back. I mean, look at this base that it built.
Yeah.
Even a 50% retracement's going to knock it down $20.
Yeah. Should send it over to China and make them stop eating live animals and stuff like that, and bat soup.
Did you see that? They took the video down, but it was up for a bit. There was some woman eating the bat soup, and she's grinning and says it tastes like chicken.
Live rats. I mean, live baby rats. Can you believe it?
No, I hadn't even heard of that. Now, Sunday night, Sunday night at 8:45 p.m. Eastern, we've got high impact news coming out of China. It's the Caixin Manufacturing PMI. So if you're trading Sunday night on the Globex Open, just be aware that's one that has the potential to move the markets. And then Monday morning, let's see, high impact news here in the U.S. We don't have anything until 10 a.m. Eastern. That's the ISM Manufacturing PMI. We have no other high impact news events for Monday. And then on Tuesday, we have no high impact news here in the U.S. Wednesday, high impact. We got ADP non-farm employment change and ISM non-manufacturing PMI, and then the crude oil inventory. So, early next week, very light on scheduled economic reports. But again, any positive news, a presidential tweet, or some good news about this coronavirus, good news about the impeachment, any of those things could send the markets higher Sunday night. So we will be here live.
Sorry. I think we're going to rally right now, Dwayne. This is a little bit better bottom now, so it might just rally back up. But boy,
I don't see it, John. I just don't. Yeah. You may be right. I mean, I'm not saying you're not. I embrace all possibilities.
I was right yesterday, but today's a little bit tougher.
Well, here's the thing. Yesterday, you see where we launched from. We consolidated at this weekly trading zone, 47.48.
Yeah.
Look at all these are 30-minute candles. Look at how many hours. I mean, we started consolidating there at 2 a.m. Eastern. And it was exactly 12 hours later that we started that rally, okay?
Yeah.
But we were coming off a good support there. Right now, if we rally up, what was support, it's probably going to become good resistance, and that's where we're going to find that leg to the downside that takes us lower on Sunday night. Those are my thoughts. And again, the lowest weekly zone for this week, which will carry over into Sunday night and Monday, 82/83.
Yeah. I think we're going to look, sometimes, the gold starts coming off, and that, they get a bit of a pullback, and now the VIXs are coming off a bit. Actually, can you put up the TVIX? Let's have a look.
Sure. TVIX, all right.
Okay, you see how it's reversed yesterday's downer, and it closed on the low, and look how it opened higher today, and it's really potentially very bullish, this thing. I mean, I think this thing could go to, I was talking to somebody yesterday, could go to 100, could go to 200. It's a really, really, really dramatic situation. So, especially that kind of little curve. I mean, this thing is locked and loaded right now. I would call it, potentially dynamically bullish. So, and looking at the market overall, even if we get a kind of a rally overnight or something, the odds of us testing the lows tomorrow, Monday, and the odds of maybe testing the highs on the VIXs are fairly, what's the word? Likely. So, the risk reward even at these levels is not too bad. I mean, look, if you're willing to risk some money, you can make an absolute fortune going along these things here in the next few days, going along the VIXs or short the market. It's really a big deal. So, most. I mean, look. The one thing about this show, first of all, your stuff has a lot of discipline attached to it, and when the price is moving in your favor, it can be very dramatic. So, you've almost never missed one of these tops. A lot of people are so kind of complacent; they're not getting the memo. They're not really kind of realizing what could go down here. And this really is, look, it's unprecedented, and we're kind of getting, we're up at 10,000 cases now, and the models are predicting 100,000 in the next week. So it's if anything like that happens, obviously the market's gonna really start hitting the skids.
Our alert last night on the Dow was to be short 28,670. The first target on the downside was 28,510. Next target on the downside was 28,295. Now I take that back. That's an old zone. Let me see. 280. No, our lowest weekly zone. This is the last week's zone, but again, folks, you can see that it's finding support there. Not unexpected. Okay, so 280.20. So we're going to get rid of this one. This one, those are all last week. So 280.25. That's our lowest weekly zone for the Dow. Now, unless something comes out of the woodwork, I would be looking for those numbers Sunday night, Monday morning. Okay.
Okie doke. So that's pretty much a wrap. Look, good luck to everybody. Stay safe, and just be careful. Try and buy dip. In the VIXs, try and buy dips. If you get a buy off a kind of a pullback, which is happening right now, we are getting a bit of traction here. If we can get above the 9050 on the Nasdaq, that would be a little bit of encouragement that we're going higher. I'd say at best we could get up to 9100, but we might have trouble up there. So if we do.
Yeah, let me.
Remember, look, even though this is if on the other side of the coin, if there's a kind of a less news about the virus, there's always a chance the market could rally overnight. We're still, even if you look at that, we kind of got an ABC pullback here. We're still potentially dynamically poised for an upside if we can get the traction. You just don't know yet, so you have to sort of trade carefully. Okay.
I was asked to put up a monthly chart of the S&P. So let's see if I can pull in some more data here.
Yeah, the monthlies by the way, the Chinese markets and the emerging markets look terrible.
Look at that doji on that. We're going to close the month, John, potentially.
With the doji. With the doji. That's deadly.
Yep.
It's deadly. Yep.
And so, I mean, looking at it from a monthly perspective, my number at 3,100, that's quite generous.
I think it's probably going to go down to the BBC down there doing.
And that's a big drop, but you know what? That's what keeps markets alive. And unfortunately, so many investors and especially new traders don't understand that that's how it works. That's how markets work, and that's the beautiful thing about futures. Number one, you can trade them around the clock. I could be long this hour. I can be short next hour. Whatever the chart tells me to do, that's what I can do. There's none of these down tick regulations or any of that stuff that you have to worry about. You just learn how to read the chart, follow the market.
Yeah, have a look at XLRN now. Just made it's hitting 91.20. Can you believe it? Just amazing.
XLRN. Wow, that's strong. That's strong.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, the Intercept. Let's have a look at Intercept and Madrigal because they're actually up. I think they're up on the day as well.
Give me the symbol again.
Sorry, ICPT.
ICPT.
Yeah. See, and Madrigal, MDGL is much stronger. So there's something going on there, and it kind of tested that gap. So.
MDGL. Yeah. It's trying to come off of that bottom.
Yeah.
Back to that monthly chart. Let's see. Mike, you asked me to put a 38% Fibonacci retracement on this, but where do you want the fib drawn from? From this swing low? Are you talking about just the last leg up? I mean...
well, it was at 103 that he asked it, so...
Well, I mean, this is a monthly chart. I mean,
yeah,
are you trying to get the year? Are you trying to get, I'm not sure what time frame you're talking about, but on the monthly chart, if I draw from just this last leg up, last time we pull back to the BBC, then the BBC itself is approaching the 38% fib. So, yeah, it's possible. If we close the month here with a doji, this thing comes down. We connect with the BBC at about 29.55. Is that what you're referring to, Mike? Okay. All right. That was it. All right, John.
All right. Thanks very much. Have a great weekend.
Thank you so much. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
You too, John. Take care.
Hey, Bert, has Dr. Gary called in yet?
I'll text him. Hang on.
There we go.
All right. There he is. Okay. Bert's got it.
Here's Bert.
Hey, you guys. I think I have Greg in the background. Greg, are you there?
Good.
I am here.
Okay.
All right.
Mike, I think, or Dwayne, I think he needs a link to the show in case he wants to share any slides that he has.
Okay, Dwayne, you got his email address?
I don't have to.
No. I really do want you to share some slides. So text me your email address, and I'll send the link right over to you. And you know, and,
I'm here.
and you know
I
what?
think Greg's got his, Greg, turn the volume down on your end because I sent him to YouTube so he can visually see the charts up front. And
So do you want me to talk on the phone, show slides?
No, actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a link that'll allow you to just log in, and you'll be able to display, you know, just like with any webinar you've done, you'll be able to display your slides. I'll make you the presenter.
Okay.
Okay, so all I need for you to do is just text me your email address. There it is. Okay. And Valerie, I'm going to send this to you, please. And if you would send Dr. Gary this link, or the link to log in.
I gave you 2 emails because for some reason one may not be working. So we'll go for both.
Okay, so what you don't want to do is be talking on the phone and have a headset on with a microphone that is live, because you're going to get an echo.
Understood. Well, I'm going to, as soon as we get hooked up here, I'm going to hang up the phone and talk right through the computer system, right?
Perfect.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. It's usually
that's
better
how I
that way.
run my webinar.
Okay.
But we got to get linked up first, and I still do not have a link.
Valerie is emailing you that link
in process.
In process.
Okay. In process, mission control.
Okie doke. Well, you know what? I tell you what. You can go ahead and hang up now, and I'll wait for you to show up in the webinar, and then I'll open up your microphone, and we'll get rolling.
Okay, tremendous.
Sounds good. Okay, bye. All right. So real quick, S&P 500 Emini Futures on the 30-minute chart. Okay, last night's Concierge Trade Alert said to consider selling 3267. We've dropped 37 points so far. We do not have an exit signal. Now, this is where many traders struggle. Okay, oh my goodness, I've got 37 points. Alexa, 37 times 50.
37 times 50 is 1,850.
Now, is there anything wrong with taking a $1,850 profit? No, there's nothing wrong with that. However, what if you could stay in the trade, because there's nothing on this chart that indicates you should get out of the trade? Why not just stay with it until the chart starts to tell you, hey, I'm running out of steam here. You might want to take profits.
That's like today, you know, this morning. I mean, of course, everybody knows that I work in a smaller time frame, but this morning, you know, I put that ES trade on, and it was our highest probability trade setup, and I said, you know, I'm just going to let this thing run, and I let it run, and it went about 20 ticks, and I took 16 out of 20 on the first move. What's that?
I said, good job.
Yeah. No, that was, and you know, it's going down again right now. There was just another shorting opportunity. But, you know, everybody has to understand that what I do in the morning is to teach you, to train you how to look at the markets and how to trade. You know, you should be able to take, you know, after some point in time, I don't know, it depends on the individual, but you should be able to take all the indicators off and be able to trade with just trend lines. And that's where we want to get you. You know, the BBC, of course, is always, it's a jewel. Having that on your chart.
Now, all of you who received this last night, that would be all CFRN passport holders. These Concierge Trade Alerts, they came out at the 8:05 p.m. Eastern on the Dow, right there. Consider being short, 28,670. we've dropped 500 points so far. At $5 a point, that's what the Dow pays. That's $2,500 per contract traded. Now, the traders who've earned the right to trade 10 contracts, this is a $25,000 move. That being said, the worst thing you could possibly do is rush out and start trading 10 contracts. If you come hang your hat with us, we want you to qualify before you even go live. We want you to put together 10 consecutive days in a row where you reach your goal in 10 trades or less before you go live with even one contract. Otherwise, you're just throwing money at the market hoping something will stick. And that's the very reason 9 out of 10 new traders fail. If you don't want to be the 9 out of 10, if you'd rather be the 1 out of 10, okay, what do you got to do? What do you got to do different? Think about it. Think about what you're doing now. And if you don't understand why what you're doing now isn't working, you should book a free one-on-one mentoring session with myself or Michael. We'll take a look at what you've been doing, the trades you've been taking. We'll simply offer our perspective, our opinion, and then we'll in turn show you what we do and how we do it. That way you can make an intelligent, well-informed decision if what we do is right for you.
And you know, before you do that session with us, you should prep your charts, like show where you traded, where you exited. You know, you can do arrows like I use or whatever you want to do, just to get us ready for the meeting, because you know we want to get right down to the core of it.
And take notes. In other words, when you show me a trade that you took that didn't work out based on whatever methodology you use, I want to be able to go, now, and what were you thinking? Well, okay, well, it went here, and then it went over there, and it did this, and this green line went over there, or whatever the case is. That way I can be on the same page, and I can tell you if, you know, again, give you my perspective, right?
That's a whole separate column in the spreadsheet. What were you thinking? Because, I mean, really, you should understand that when you make a trade. I mean, what were you thinking? What were your emotions? Why did you do that? Because, you know, 90% of this is between your ears, and you got to figure that out. You know, we can't figure that out for you. We can recommend things and suggest things, and we can point you to the technical stuff that we do. But, you know, when it comes to actually putting the order on, you know, the technical stuff that we do works.
He said he did. All right. Dr. Greg is with us, so let me open up his mic.
I'll be quiet now.
No, you're more than welcome to participate in the conversation here. Ladies and gentlemen, we do have with us now Dr. Greg Gary. Dr. Greg, can you hear me?
I can, loud and clear, Dwayne.
All right, all right, and you are loud and clear as well.
You sound like a rock star.
This is so much better right now.
So, folks, I've got a picture up. I'm going to just take it down because I'm going to make Dr. Gary the presenter here. But I just want to give you an idea of who's talking. And let me pull this down. And well, it took us a minute to get situated and get you on, but we're really glad to have you with us. I'm passing over the presenter panel to you now, so you can take it at your leisure, whatever you want to start showing some slides. But let's get a little background information on you for the audience. I've already told them a little bit that you are referred to as the people's economist. Would that be a good description?
That's correct. Yeah. Well, it's quite a journey, actually, Dwayne. I have I can show my screen. Look at that amazing world of technology. I'm used to the Zoom platform, so let's see. Can you see that?
I see it. I see the main slide, and I see the slides on the left.
Okay. If you don't mind, I'd like to keep the slides on the left.
Absolutely, yeah.
Depending on how this organic conversation goes, okay?
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's quite a journey. I have a fancy schmancy degree in economics from Queen's University in Canada, and but I can tell you, I've learned more about economics and the whole political system going on globally since leaving university. And Dwayne, as an expert in trading, the levels of sophistication going on in the world now, it's just massive. And so is it with economics. And I thought, the people of the world need to really understand at their level so that they can take action at their level.
And that's so important, because we're all operating at different levels. When I'm training traders or talking to a room full of traders, I explain to them, you're all on this journey up Trader Mountain, but every one of you is at a different level. So I've got to come and meet you where you're at on Trader Mountain, understand where you are, what you see, what you're thinking, so that I might be able to help you.
Well said. And, we're on similar paths, Dwayne, in that, I love your mission. I've heard about your mission. I heard about how you want to help people. We have a crisis in America. We have crisis in Canada. We have a crisis around the world. 60% of Americans are just $1,000 short of a financial crisis,
Yes.
It's not dissimilar in Canada, not dissimilar in places around the world. There's a reason for it. And everybody has been given their God-given gifts and strengths to operate in this world so we can work together, to move forward.
Absolutely.
But when they're and I hate the word victim, but when they're victims to a financial system that keeps them down and keeps them off focused of their main thing, that is a crisis. That is a challenge. That is wrong.
And here's the thing, our audience now. You are, along with being a doctor, and your doctorate is in economics, correct?
No, it's not actually. It's in theology.
Oh, it is in theology. Okay.
And also, I got my degree from Primus University of Theology in Phoenix, Arizona. So it's so interesting we're all here together today.
Small world.
And Jada's brother he's got a master's in theology.
Yeah.
And Jada's my wife. But I was just throwing that out there.
So you have, so your doctorate is in theology. You've studied Keynesian economics.
Right.
Could you clarify for the audience, what is Keynesian? If I'm pronouncing it right, I think I am.
Yeah, Keynes was an economist that, he was out there from England. And his contention was that the printing of money was like when you prime a pump, right? You put some water in the old pumps, to prime it. Right. And then once you got it going, away it went. And his contention was that the printing of money was a sound economic system. Well, it can be true marginally, but look, it's kind of like I come home at the end of the month and I say to my wife, honey, we just didn't quite make enough money this month. Hey, but no problem. I bought one of those new high-end photocopiers.
Yeah.
Plasticky paper that we have up in Canada. I found that. I got some from China. And I'm just going to print $100 bills, just enough to
get us
to
by.
pay the bills this month. Oh, and by the way, there's a new project I want to start, so I'll probably print another 100 for that. And why don't we take a little vacation too? Hey, who's going to notice? And she would say, what?
Oh, and the ink that I bought last month to do the same thing, that bill has come due, so I better print a little more to pay for the
100%.
ink that we ordered last month so that they'll send us more ink next month.
Yeah. You've got it. So if I did that, my wife would say, honey, they'll throw you in jail. However, and by the way, I'm actually not coming after governments. because it's not, the governments aren't really the problem. It's the central banking system. And they have
Thomas Jefferson, I think, said it best. You can probably quote it better than I.
Well, so, I have so many thoughts swimming in my head to share with your audience right now. I got to just track here. So yeah, because I want to talk about the foundation of America. America was the most rapid growing country the world has ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because the Constitution was founded by the people, for the people, founded on the tenets of what the Lord says is a good and right thing, and a sound banking system based on what? Gold.
Based on gold. That's right.
Yeah.
It was printed
And,
right there on the bill. It said it.
Absolutely. I carry around a US $1 bill pre-1971, and it says redeemable to the bearer in silver. All right. So the founding fathers fought to keep out the central banks. And unfortunately, in 1913, there was a secret meeting on Jekyll Island.
Yeah,
I'm sure you've heard about it.
What's the name of the book? The Creature from Jekyll Island.
Jekyll Island.
Yes.
And let me just go up my slides here. I had the privilege of interviewing G. Edward Griffin about the whole thing in his book. I mean, his book is huge, but he was the first to really come out and tell the world what really went on in America, and it was a crime. That the central bank system came into this beautiful, beautiful nation called America. And since that time, I mean, here I've got a picture. You see here of it's a pictograph of the U.S. $1 bill. Now notice where it's at the top, 1913.
The erosion of the dollar. Okay.
The erosion of the dollar. Prior to that, there was no such thing as inflation in the States. It might have been marginal, but here's the thing. You look up in Webster's dictionary, you look up inflation, and it actually says the printing of money.
Wow, I did not know that.
So many people think that inflation is price increases, and I tell them, no, it is absolutely not price increases. Well, sometimes it is. Sometimes it is more costly to produce an item. But generally, the reason, because prices are actually supposed to go down through economies of scale in manufacturing and efficiencies, right?
Well, as we've seen with technology, the price of a computer, a cell phone, you name it, right? Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So you print more and more money, it devalues or debases the currency, and it has less buying power. And who was the first to do this? Rome. Rome was an expansionary, is that a word, expansionary?
It is.
It was a nation that, they were expanding their borders. And how did they pay their soldiers? I mean, the soldiers wanted to acquire gold and silver and to feed their families, but eventually to retire. Well, they didn't have enough, and they started debasing silver with tin and other metals, and they finally figured it out. It was part of the collapse of Rome. And since that time, we have seen the debasement of currencies around the world. There are hundreds, even thousands of fiat currencies. Fiat currency means paper not backed by anything.
Right.
And they have all gone to zero. And you look at this US dollar. I mean, what you could buy for $1 in 1913 was significantly more than what you can buy now, right?
The US dollar, correct me if I'm wrong, is the longest standing currency throughout history, correct?
You are correct.
Okay.
Yeah, we are long. I'm just looking for a particular slide here. We are long overdue for a crash of this dollar. I'm sorry. By the way, I always start my programs, Dwayne, and I'm sorry, I don't know the name of the other gentleman.
Michael.
Hi, Michael.
Michael. Hey, I'm here. I'm listening.
I always start my program with a scripture that says, God has not given you a spirit of fear, but of power and love and sound mind.
Amen.
So, Dwayne, that's what, and Michael, that's why I love what you're doing, right? You're empowering people, because the world is in crisis, and you factor in all the economic indicators around the world, we're on the brink. And I know people will say, oh yeah, we've been saying that for years. Well, it hasn't crashed because now, you know, we had quantitative easing, a fancy word for putting billions of dollars into the system, and now we've got the repo markets.
Thank you, Helicopter Ben, for that.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, if you had listened to the whole previous session that we had, you know, from and John was going into it, how right now, over the weekend, possibly, things could get very bad. Things can get very bad, and it's we use technical. We use indicators, and we base our stuff on indicators.
Right.
But the indicators are based on people that are making trades.
Yes.
And it's history building itself, and John actually he goes back, and Dwayne too. They go back to previous times like 87.
Yes.
When everything was just setting up to be bad.
Yes.
And right now, everything is setting up to be bad.
There's a lot of writing on the wall. And what you said, Dr. Gary, about wanting to help people, that being part of our mission statement, thank you very much for acknowledging that. We've done a lot of things over the years. My wife and I together, built an orphanage in Kampala, Uganda, East Africa in 2000. That's when we began the project. And as we brought CFRN online in 2005, that became a very integral part of all that we do here. It's a way of life for us. And I think many people would love to be involved in some kind of ministry, some way, somehow. But what most people don't realize until they get involved is that ministry costs money.
Yes, I heard your overview. Come on, people, wake up, right? It costs money. Mm-hmm. And we got to stop pulling from just the so-called rich. Come on. I'm working with my 11-year-old.
The body of Christ has been fetching and stepping with their hat in hand for far too long in front of corporate America, the wealthy of the world. I don't think God intended it to be that way.
No. I teach and work towards. I don't know if you've heard of Johnny Enlow and Lance Wallnau and 7 Mountains of Influence.
Oh, the 7 Mountains. Yes, we've got government, we've got education, we've got entertainment. What are the others?
There's education, business, business and economics, of course, finance, government, arts and entertainment, which is where my daughter's working.
Hollywood, okay. Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and media is huge, right? The big lie of media. So we're called to take back those entities.
Amen. I believe that.
We have a brain, we have hands, we have prayer, and we're moving. And there's many moving up that mountain, right? And that's what you're doing. You are working in the field of finance and economics to empower people to use their brain. And, I just applause to you, for what you're doing. And you've got the right heart for this. People, my people, wise up, take that which you have, don't bury it in the ground, right? But amplify it. You find a way to amplify that money and use that money, and someone's going to be real proud of you, right?
That's right.
Don't bury it in the ground.
Yeah, don't bury it in the ground. And also, don't be foolish with it. Don't go chasing. Don't go chasing moonbeams.
Good.
You mentioned, be proud of it. I mean, you can be proud of it that you've done it.
Yeah.
But you also have to pass it on.
Tremendous.
God blesses us so that we can be a blessing, not just so we can lay up on the couch and watch Springer all day and eat Rocky Road ice cream. So.
Well said. Yeah, it's so fun to do a good thing. I popped up a slide here, and then I got to go back to this truck slide here, but I popped up a slide. I specifically went to the Philippines this summer because, it's a rich nation, but it's an impoverished nation.
I was there in the late 70s, courtesy of the United States Navy. So,
right?
I'm familiar with the situation.
Yeah, and the mentality of the people is, I mean, everywhere I go, they call me sir, or if it's you're a woman, ma'am. It's just like,
yeah, absolutely.
We're the same, and it's
wonderful
this,
people.
Oh, I love them. I want to go live there. You know, I love it so much.
Well, I mean, in the South, you know, you appreciate that. You know, I'm from the North originally.
Michael grew up in Boston or the surrounding area of the Northeast. Last couple years, he's getting his first taste of Southern culture, and
that's right.
He's finding he likes being a Southern gentleman.
The sir and ma'am works for me.
Just got to be able to say all y'all, and I'm fixing to do something.
Yeah, just say y'all do.
You know, we've had my wife and I. We've had people stop us in a restaurant or in a department store.
Yeah.
And go, that's so wonderful. And we're like, what? I just heard what your son said. What did he say? It might be thank you. It might be please. It might be yes, sir. It might be no, ma'am. Just basic respect that we were raised with. There's a generation of kids out there, maybe two, that didn't get that training. Didn't get that infilling of dignity. Go ahead.
Well, surely this call is ordained from above, because I run a leadership program for kids.
Oh, really?
And it's based on the Judeo-Christian ethic. So it's not a religious program per se.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they hear about God, they do hear about Jesus, and I do quote from the Bible, but I'm back to teaching them the basics of please, thank you, sorry, and also I'm teaching them the truth about what's going on in this world, teaching them to stand on stage and to speak with power and influence. You know, we've got such a dumbed down culture now, you know, being influenced by everything internet. It is a tragic. So we're doing that in my home city, rolling it out across Canada and hopefully the world. And part of my teaching actually is on, you know, true finances, right? The gold is mine and the silver is mine, says the Lord of hosts, right? Real money, precious metals. So that's part of my teaching, is the money side of it, right? But manners, yes, 100%.
Okay, so you just hit 4 points right there. That are important to me. One, I went to a school where I was taught by priests.
Yeah.
Judaism priests. And two, my son just started volunteering.
Mm-hmm.
Three, there's the giving back part.
Yeah.
You know, and well, I forgot the fourth one. But we'll let that go.
He's learning to give back, and how's he responding to that?
Jake? Oh, he loves it.
Yeah.
Oh, he loves it. And I mean, God, what he's doing is he's volunteering at a place that is about 5 minutes away from us. I mean, it's not a big deal, but he's going there and he's doing it, and taking care of animals.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, you know, that's a start. And he's 15. You know, Macy, the other one, is also 15 and has not done anything yet. So we got to work with that. But
well, they need that, and they need that direction. They need that influence. Otherwise, they're going to follow the kids they go to school with, the kids that they hang out with. It's so important that we make sure that our kids are surrounded by the proper example. There's a book, you're going to become the sum total of the 5 people you spend the most time with. It's a very popular book. I can't remember the exact name of it, but
I don't remember the name of it either.
That is what will happen, to all of us.
But yeah, no, you gotta stick with the people that are doing the best, and you know that pretty much sums it up. So, stick with the people.
Tell us about your pickup trucks.
I get the feeling we could make this.
You own both of those?
It's good. Well, hey, I mean, I think this point needs to be driven home. So you're helping people in the trading realm,
Mhm.
and that's in the fiat system, and that's awesome that they are making more money, earning more money through that system. And I'm saying to people, take some of that money and one way or another put it into a precious metal where printing cannot devalue it. Look, gold holds its buying power, and people have to know that they know this. So look, you buy a pickup back in 1950. That's a gorgeous looking pickup, isn't it? And it cost about $1,000, $1,000 US. Or you could have bought it with 30 ounces of gold. Okay, back then. Now look, let's forward the clock to 2017, 42 grand for that beautiful pickup. Well, if Grandpa had just willed $1,000 US to great grandson and said, "Hey, this is for your car when you become of age," and he opens up the envelope and there's $1,000 US, I mean, that's going to buy one of those wheels. But if he'd willed forward that gold, would have bought the same thing. So I teach people over and over again, gold holds its buying power. Get some gold.
You can apply that same analogy to a house, to so many things. Go back in time. What did it cost to buy a house? How many ounces of gold was that? And then what does it cost today to buy a house? The average, family home. Yeah. The parallel is there over and over. Oh, you're going to show us that? I can see it right here. You're going to show us. This is good stuff. Please, back to you.
Well, we can do it with clothing, right? A Roman toga. Back then, sandals, the whole, with all accoutrements, cost about an ounce of gold. 50s, same thing, an ounce of gold. Today, beautiful suit, shoes, belt, shirt, tie, the whole thing costs about an ounce of gold, right? For a good suit. So yes, we can prove it to you over and over again. Furthermore, I've got other charts that show that gold actually since the year since 2020, 2010 or 2011 has actually outperformed the stock market and even Berkshire Hathaway. People don't know that.
No.
It's shocking.
No,
they don't. Berkshire Hathaway is that's the slow gain to money is what that is. And and he's done tremendous things. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, I'm just a little distracted right now because
I don't know.
One of our neighborhood puppies is running around outside, and there's like 6 kids chasing him.
Okay. All right.
But
yeah,
back to you, Doc.
Yeah. So you really got to understand gold, but the problem with gold is people aren't familiar with it, right? When they cut it off in 1971, it just began to go out of people's minds, and they just, people said, "Oh, well, what's gold for? You can't even use it," right? But anytime there's a crisis, the fiat currencies of the world vaporize. We saw it in Zimbabwe. We're seeing it in Venezuela right now, and we're seeing it to various degrees around the world. One of the slides
we saw it in the Weimar Republic.
Oh yeah, but there's that normalcy bias going on, right? Oh, it could never happen. Right?
NIMBY syndrome, not in my backyard.
Yeah, that's right. Here's a chart of, it makes it more real when you talk about real goods, right? Back in 1980, bread was 50 cents. This is Canadian, by the way.
Okay.
And then it's $5 in 2015. Same with movies, same with homes, right? Mm-hmm. But look at the far column. Look at the percent increase in cost, right? In dollars. Mm-hmm. Anywhere from 250 to 1,000%.
Right.
But here's the most important question to ask, right? Did your income go up proportionate to that? And as I travel around the world, the answer is commonly no way.
Not even close.
Right?
Not even close.
But people are getting further and further behind, and there's an associated shame with that. It's not really spoken out, but it's like, come on, enough, right? Get knowledge, get wisdom, do something about this. And I find so many people around the world who are educators about this, but I still find the majority of the people are not, doing the right thing, and that is converting their fiat assets into a precious metal now before it's too late. And I tell people, look, it's cheap to prepare, but it's very expensive to react.
Now,
Right.
do you think do you think people are not doing that because of a lack of education, because they think they can't afford it? Why aren't people doing what, based on what you just said,
Sure.
obviously the right thing to do, why aren't people doing it?
I think it's a lack of education. I also think it's to a degree a sense of hopelessness, right?
Mm-hmm.
But mostly education. When we were talking about volunteering, Michael, I thought, wow, that's great. That's leadership. And it only takes 2 to 3% of the culture to transform it. So there's a lot more people speaking about this now, right? I mean,
Well, I think too, most people just assume they can't afford gold because it's gold, and they perhaps hear on the radio or the TV how it's going up, it's going to go up, it has gone up, whatever the case. It's well, I'm just a working stiff, I can't afford to go out and buy gold.
Yeah.
I mean, it's $1,500 an ounce.
That's it. And Dwayne, that's exactly how people are thinking. That's exactly how I used to think, although I did manage to grab a couple ounces in my early days of acquisition.
Good.
But along comes this company called Karatbars. Can I talk about that?
Absolutely.
So here's Karatbars, and they come up with this idea. Okay, so the vision of the company is we're going to make gold affordable to the masses. How do we do that? We're going to put a little chip of gold, and in that first black card there you see on the right, that's a gram of gold in there. There's 32 grams in an ounce of gold. So guess what? That's affordable, right? Now, in our younger years, we were encouraged to save, right? Save your money, put it in the bank. Well, now the likes of Robert Kiyosaki says savers are losers. Why are we losers? We're losers because the value of fiat currency keeps going down and down and down. The real rate of inflation is not 2%. Go to shadowstats.com and you'll find out what the real rate of inflation is. Ask any mom or anybody that goes to the grocery store what the real rate of inflation is. They won't tell you it's 2%. They'll just laugh in your face. So the thing is, a gram of gold can be acquired, right? It's $50 US. Well,
today's price, I think it's about 55.
Okay.
I was calculating it the other night. It's somewhere right in that neighborhood.
But, take the family out to dinner. Okay, well, stay home that night. Get a gram of gold. Right? And you don't think that's going to make a difference? Wait till you see what gold's going to go to. Gold is going to rocket, right? 5,000, 10,000, 50,000 an ounce. So, every time I got one of these grams, I felt better. Why? Because I knew nobody was going to steal that wealth from me. And so what was Karatbars doing? We're in 140 nations now. And we're just saying to people, listen, just trade your devaluing fiat currency for some gold. You can get it in 1 gram, 2.5 gram, or 5 grams. But something wonderful happened beyond this. We now have this stuff in something called cash gold, right down to 1/10 of an ounce. Excuse me, 1/10 of a gram. It is truly, truly, truly transactable and affordable to anybody around the world. So the little guy, when I say little guy, we're all equal on this planet, but the ones who don't have hardly any money at all, they now have a way to convert that devaluing fiat into something that is going to hold its buying power. Now you can begin to climb back to generational wealth the way it's supposed to be.
Exactly. A problem with storing gold, you can buy gold bars, you can buy Crude rounds. That's an outlay of a lot of cash that people typically don't have.
Yeah.
which is preventing them from doing this in the beginning. So this brings it down to an economy of scale where, yes, you can afford to buy gold.
Correct.
And imagine walking into, let's say we have an economic collapse or this virus situation or something similar down the road happens. Imagine walking into a grocery store, with a Krugerrand and trying to get, a loaf of bread and a jug of milk. Well, if you want to part with the whole Krugerrand or the whole gold bar, you might be able to, swing a deal. But what you just talked about, it's like walking into a 7-Eleven and saying, hey, can you break a 50?
Right.
Now, pretty soon it's going to be, can you break 100? But yeah, please go ahead.
100%. That's exactly it. You'd have to bring a blade knife with you with that ounce of gold to shave off some splinters of gold. It's just not going to work. So yeah, in any crisis around the world, if people had gold or silver, they got themselves out of that crisis. Now, there is an issue though of the usability of this stuff and the adaptability of the stuff, right? So before, in the old system with the US, you'd be able to convert your paper back into gold. You go back to the bank, right? And I've got a little graphic here on that, right?
Right.
You typically people would put their money in the bank. They were given a note, a trading note, right? So now you're out trading your notes, buying a cow, whatever. But Farmer Brown can always go back to the bank and get the real money, which is the gold or the silver, right? That's how banking used to work.
How it used to work,
that's what
right?
it's the paper, right? And then that all got cut off finally in 1972. Thank you, Mr. Nixon. And so now what Carrot Bars is doing is we are getting back to a way for people to receive both gold and something else in a system. So I don't know how educated your audiences are on this thing called cryptocurrency.
They're better than the average bear.
Okay, so all right. So why did people come into Bitcoin? Well, I certainly didn't. You weren't going to get me to convert my fiat currency into a digital nothingness,
I first brought it to this radio audience at 12 cents.
Yeah. And what?
At 12, we first talked about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, on this radio program when it was trading at 12 cents.
Well, I wish I had met you back then, Dwayne.
Well, I wish I'd have met myself. I mean, we talked about it, we explored it, but very few of us jumped up and went out and did anything about it. That's the sad part of the story. We missed the boat.
Well, you did and you didn't, right? So here's Carrot Bars. And so why do people get involved in blockchain, right? People are tired of having them, including banks, peering into your private financial life. So they did it for privacy. And they also did it for, there's a limited number of coins. And so the value had it had a chance to go up, unlike a fiat, which goes down. Right?
Right.
So that's why people got into it, and Ethereum came, and now all these other coins.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them are scams, so beware, everybody.
That's very true.
So what Carrot Bars launched, they launched a coin, but it's related to gold. It's related to gold. We're not allowed to say it's gold backed because it's not purely gold backed. But there is a convertibility capability into gold. They've created a whole system to transact, so we can use the gold embedded in the cards and the paper, and we can use the digital. But it's not a nothingness digital. It has a value that you convert to gold. So what Carrot Bars has done, and I don't know if you can see this graphic very well, but they've created an entire ecosystem, starting with our own gold mines. We convert it to the gold on the cards. You can convert it into the digital currency. You can convert it back into gold if you want. And furthermore, we have something called K-Merchant, where now vendors can now receive this digital and transact. Now, why didn't crypto go big in the retail market? It was because of the volatility of this new thing called crypto. They couldn't risk it. Well, Karatbars has figured out a way, and you would know about this. It's called arbitrage. So when someone uses our crypto and even other people's crypto, they lock down the value so that the vendor never loses, right? So we've got the mining. We're getting our own stock exchange launched. We've got our own crypto exchange. We've got our own.
Did you mean your own bank launched?
Yeah, we've got. It's called Gold Standard.
Gold
Bank.
Standard, right? Okay.
Yeah. So you want to hear a complete system. It's not just this coin; it's a complete system. So there's credibility behind it. In fact, Forbes magazine, fairly credible, right?
They are.
This is the top 10 coin to watch in the years to come, and it's because Karatbars has taken the time to launch this system. And not only do we have the gold digital aspect of this and the ability for merchants to use this, but we've also protected the whole system with the world's first voice over blockchain phone and computer system. I mean, it is absolutely phenomenal, the intelligence behind this system. You know, there was an executive from Mercedes-Benz was meeting with one of the executives from Karatbars. And by the way, I'm really close to corporate in Germany and the top leaders in the world on this. And he said, what you guys have done in 2 years, it would take us 10 to do it. So the speed, surely God is upon us now. The speed of which we're moving and the intelligence behind this is phenomenal, right? So we've even got Dwayne and Michael, we've even got a cash gold dispensing machine. That machine you're looking at there, real, those bills you saw with the gold, with the 1/10 of a gram.
That's real gold.
Spits out real gold.
I have some right here.
Cool.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but they've been selling gold out of vending machines for some time in Germany, correct?
Not just Germany. You're talking about other companies?
Well, yeah, other companies. I mean, it's a thing. If you go, because I saw a blog post or a tweet years ago, and I guess it was a new thing then. It looked like a vending machine, and it was in an airport, and you could walk up to it and swipe your credit card and buy some gold.
Yeah, you're seeing them pop up around the world now. There's some in Dubai. I think Singapore has one. But yeah, so it's out there, but what's the problem? It's the usability of gold. Okay, it's great for a store of value. Then you can go to the gold shop in the case of a crisis and convert it back to fiat. Mm-hmm. But what about the usability around the world? Well, the world long ago went off the gold and silver standard. So it's about this paper stuff. So there's a whole new community. There's 800,000 of us now in 140 nations working this system and bringing it to the people, right?
Is that how many affiliates are involved around the world? 800,000?
Yeah, there's 800,000 signed up. Realistically, I would sense there's a couple 100,000 of us who really
are active.
Embrace this. Yeah. So, what I tell people is, look, here's what's happened. It's now as of the days of old. So now you convert your fiat, your devaluing fiat into gold, put it into your banking system. And if you learn more about it, you'll find out how that works. And then you're out trading it digitally or transacting with it digitally or with the real gold. It's all protected by a world's first voice over blockchain phone and computer system. I haven't shown the computer here. And then anytime you want, you can pop it back into gold again. And if you really need fiat currency, go for it. So I'm you know, and I tell people, we've taken every issue going on in the banking and financial system and created an answer that overlays on top of that. So it is, you know, so gold is the foundation. We know that gold holds its buying power, but now the system is here. And so for those who have, you know, ears to hear and eyes to see, what an opportunity. And the reason that I'm on this call, Dwayne and Michael, is because of an incredible woman up in Canada named Tony. And her heart, I mean, her heart is to impact 1 million people by getting them back on the right track with their finances again. I mean, even on this system, the new phone, you have your own bank. You know that most of the people around the world don't have a bank account.
You're absolutely right. They either don't have, and this is especially true in Africa, they don't have the necessary documentation to open a bank account, and more importantly, they don't have enough money to maintain the minimum balance required to have an account. It's a big issue, and I don't think most people, you know, we always think of third world countries, you know, and well, we feel sad for them, and so we send a $20 check every month through World Vision or some other worthy organization. But we're just putting band-aids on a very big problem. We're not addressing the issue or the underlying cause. We're not fixing anything that way. Did I lose you? Dr. Greg, I think I got disconnected. Okay. Well, let's give him a minute. I'm sure he'll log back in. But let me send him a quick text message so that he knows he got logged out.
Are you there?
There you are. Okay, I was just getting ready to send you a text message.
Yeah, we love technology, but it just doesn't always work well. Yeah, so you were saying about the, you know, no bank accounts in Africa, right?
Exactly. Now, when I first visited Uganda in 2003,
yeah,
I found it so interesting. There were people who, even though they didn't have a place to call home, a roof over their head,
right,
they had a cell phone.
Very
You
interesting.
could buy them for $8 at these little roadside shacks.
Yeah, yeah.
And then if you walk down a little bit further, you could buy a card, an airtime card, and then you would scratch off the back and you would put that number into your cell phone, and via the old style text message, not iMessages, but SMS text, you were able to do commerce. You could pay your some kind of bill that you owed. You could go to the fellow that sells groceries and you could, you know, buy something to eat and pay for it with these minutes that you put on your phone. And I was just blown away by that, because here in America, the iPhone still hadn't come along yet. The iPhone didn't hit here until about 2006. This is they were doing this with the old style flip phones. So yeah, back to you.
Well, so, you know, we were talking about Tony and how missional she is. You know, she wants.
Yeah, the heart she has. She showed up on my doorstep unannounced. I live in Phoenix, Arizona. She came from Canada and knocking at my front door. We'd never met in person. She had been a part of CFRN for, you know, a number of years. To say that I was surprised would be quite the understatement. But, well, of course, I invited her in, and she sat, and she and my wife quickly bonded. They have a lot of common interests, and she's become a part of our life now.
Yeah. Well, you know, she was on one of my shows the other night, and she just really shared her heart, how she wants to affect 1 million people. And, you know, there's an organization that does micro lending, which I'm a big fan of. I know that 95 or 96% of it gets paid back, and the person is empowered. They don't fall into that mentality of, you know, I'm a poor person who can't do anything. It's such, you know, dignity out the window. So
yes, and
that's
it's not a handout. It's a hand up, not just for that person,
Yeah.
but for generations to come, because you're empowering that person to create generational wealth.
Perfect. So that's the heart she has. That's the heart you have. That's the heart and the reason I went to the Philippines. And so this Karatbar's gold standard bank system has a way for people who hardly have any money to share the good news about gold in this whole system. And they too, and they don't have to walk out of poverty. They can actually leap out of poverty if they get the right education and the vision. And I see through this system a capability of a wealth transfer, which I believe in. You know, my wife and I this morning in our prayer time, we're suddenly, you know, just praying. I thought about the coming out of Egypt, you know, and they were throwing wealth upon these people. Now, is it going to be quite like that? Well, I don't know, but it is.
They were loading down with gold and silver, just saying, "Just get out of here."
Yeah. So there is a great opportunity here, and you know, with the right hearts, the right people, you know, I remain very, very excited about what Karatbar's has done here. It is just tremendous. So
I know we're getting short on time, but if I can, when I was first introduced to Karatbar's by Tony, I consider myself to be somewhat technically or technologically savvy. I had an understanding of cryptocurrency, but as she started to list off all of these different things, I don't think it had been packaged as under the term ecosystem as of yet. But there were just all these different avenues. There was the cash gold, and then there was the crypto, and the Karat bit, the Karat pay, and it was kind of overwhelming.
Yes.
Now, thank God for Tony. She hung in, because many times I was tempted to just say, you know what, this is too confusing. I'm going to pass.
Yeah.
I'm glad that I didn't. I'm glad that she hung in there. But for new people, people who are maybe just hearing about this for the first time today, how do they not get overwhelmed? How can they get involved and just start learning at a pace that's acceptable to them?
Sure. Well, here's the thing. If you know, if I get a new car, before I buy the car, do I have to understand how an internal combustion engine works? Well,
good analogy. I like that.
No, I don't. Right? And
no, you don't.
Even as you're teaching on trading, I know you're teaching some sophisticated things, but you know, deep down, I don't think people can truly understand what's really going on, or maybe they can. I don't know much about trading yet. So yeah, you don't have to know how the engine works. You've got people like me that will explain how the engine works. Your job is to find people's heart. Like what's the need? You know, what's your vision? What's your, you know, what do you want your future to look like? Do you understand what's happening in the financial realm? And do you want to change that? So you don't have to understand everything. There's videos and leaders who will help you do that.
Well, and that's what I found out. There's such a tremendous amount of resources. There's huddles and webinars, and just there's something going on almost every day in the community that is designed to teach, to equip. Yeah. Well, so you know, you can get involved as what we call a customer and just start converting fiat currency into gold. And if you want to share the good news, you can start sharing it with others, and you'll be blessed in that sharing. So there's two ways to go, but do something, please, ladies and gentlemen.
in the realm of gold, even if it's not carat bars. Go and start converting your fiat into gold or silver before it's too late, because there will come a time when it is too late. You'll see such a run for gold when this thing happens. So please do something, everybody.
Yeah, don't wait until there's wailing and gnashing of teeth in the street. Don't wait until then.
Absolutely.
For those of you that are logged in through CFRN, I have posted a link that you can follow. It says register using the affiliate link. Now, this doesn't obligate you to anything at all. What it does is it sort of gives you the key to the back office so that you can go in and poke around and look around. It won't cost you a dime, just a little bit of your time, to explore all of the stuff that we've talked about on this call today. And this way you can make an intelligent, well-informed decision if this opportunity is right for you. Now, what would you like to close with, Dr. Gary?
Well, I want to say that I think it's, we go back to that scripture, God's not giving you the spirit of fear. Because, I got a whole other whack of slides here that I could have shared that talks about what's going on in the banking system, and it's a crime.
How about you come back next Friday and we do it then?
Well, I'd be delighted if people need and want some more education.
Absolutely.
But just take action. Do not acquiesce to the system, meaning I don't like it, but I have to do it. No, you don't. God's not giving you a spirit of fear, but a power and love and sound mind. So the love part is, have the right mission. The mission is protect your family and even prosper your family, right? And then spread the good news. That's love. And sound mind is, in the realm of trading, you're listening to Dwayne and Michael. They have an intelligence in this realm for you to, get a leg up and prosper and spread the word about it. Just last night, by the way, I had a Jewish fellow in my home. He just suddenly said to me, I want to start trading. And then along so I'm going to refer him to you. But do something. Okay, be a leader. Take action in one of these realms today. Get your free account with carat bars. If you don't like it, that's fine. Nothing happens. It's just you get to look around. But take action, because there's hundreds of people coming into this daily, and you can benefit from that, and you'll find out how that works as well.
Life is not a spectator sport. Get up off the couch and do something.
Come on.
Thank you so much, Dr. Gary, and we'll talk between now and then, but I sure look forward to next Friday.
Thanks for the privilege of speaking to you and to your audience. God bless you all.
Have a great weekend.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now. Okay, guys. Round of applause for Dr. Gary. Now, let me get the chart back up. And let me display the right screen. There we go. Okay. All right, let's pick up where we left off. Let's see what the market has done while we were talking. All right, let's go back to the S&P. Okay. From 3267 to 3222. Alexa, 67 minus 22. 45.
67 minus 22 is 45.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a good afternoon.
Alexa, 45 times 50.
45 times 50 is 2,250.
It's $2,250 per contract move if you got out at the swing low right there, the current swing low. It's a little difficult to get out at a swing low or even a swing high because you don't know that it is such a thing until after the fact. As this candle was getting ready to close, we didn't know that was the swing low. In fact, we still don't. Price has now pulled up to the step line. The step line has crossed over. An exit signal looks like this. We had a long trade yesterday. We had one here and then another one up here. And you can get out anywhere you want. Once you take your entry, you're showing profit. It's discretionary trading. You can take your profit and go anytime. Or you can wait on an extended move. You can wait for the chart to tell you, hey, I'm running out of steam here. You might want to take your profit. So what does that look like? Okay, on these two long trades. This one went from 32.63 to the exit signal. This one started at 32.81, two separate alerts. This step line, you'll notice that it steps up, steps over, steps up, steps over. Looks like a set of stairs. That's why they call it a step line. Step up, step over. Step up, step over. Step up, step over, step over, step over. What just changed? We crossed over blue and climbing. It has a technical name, the CFMA1. I just like to call it blue and climbing or red and falling, because then I don't have to say the name and then explain what the heck it looks like or what it does. It just speaks for itself. So once the step line crosses over on a long trade, what you're looking for is the first red candle that closes below the step line. That would be this candle. That would be that close right there. Now that price is 32.88. 32.88. Exit signal. Okay. Yeah, I'm just going to stick this up here. So, some people were long here. Some people were long here. But everyone got the same exit signal to step out of the trade at 32.88, the closing price of this candle. Well, what about this red candle? Well, some might have exited here, but remember, we want the step line to cross over, and then we want to look for the first, on a long trade, we want to look for the first red candle that closes below the step line. After it crosses over, right here, we were in the process of crossing over. So if you took that exit, hey, no harm, no foul. If you waited for this one, either way, it was a very profitable move. So look what's happening over here right now, live in real time. We have a swing low. We don't know that it's the swing low, but it's a swing low. Price, since this move began, okay, look at what happened. Over here, we were stepping up, stepping over, stepping up, stepping over. Here, we're stepping down, stepping over, stepping down, stepping over, stepping down. See how that works? Now, right here, we stepped over, stepped over. We've crossed over red and falling. Technical terms, CFMA1, easy to remember, red and falling. Red and falling means this. You should either be short or you should be looking for the high probability, low risk entry to get short. Here we were looking for a red candle that closed below the step line. So we're looking for the opposite here. We're looking for a green candle that closes above the step line. We have crossed over. Now, if this candle closes above the step line, that price will become the exit signal price. We don't know that that's going to happen. We still have 14 minutes left in the life of this candle. I always use a 30-minute chart. I dial down to a 5 minutes sometimes to fine-tune entries, that type of thing. But anytime I'm showing a chart or posting charts, just know that my go-to chart is the 30-minute. Michael's is the range chart. Okay. Now, if we get a green close above the step line, 32.67, down to the swing low, that was 45 points. Again, getting out at an exact swing low, tricky business. Typically, you can only do it via luck. But we don't, that's not, luck and hope are not part of the, are not one of the tools in our trading toolbox. So we're going to be patient. We're going to see what happens over the next now 12 minutes. Because this candle could very easily reverse. I mean, notice here what happened. We came down. We had a weekly trading zone. We traded below it. Then we had a 30-minute big green candle. Looked as if the market might try to rally, but it didn't. In fact, the conversation we were having with John was here. This area that became good support yesterday that led to the afternoon rally yesterday. Today, it's the opposite dynamic. What was good support all day yesterday is now becoming good resistance. Are we going to go up and test it one more time? Perhaps consolidate, meet up with the BBC, and then begin the leg down? That's certainly a possibility. I won't go so far as to say it's a high probability, because there's a lot of bearish pressure on the market. But we do know this: price always reverts to the mean. In our case, this green line is the mean. And price, no matter how far it travels, north or south, at some point, that move up or down is going to run out of steam, and it's going to run back to the BBC, which just means bull bear cross. Here we're bullish because we're above the BBC. Over here we're bearish, and by bullish and bearish I simply mean over here we anticipate higher prices, whereas here we're below it, we anticipate lower prices. Were it not for, this incredible bearish pressure that's on the market, I would say that yes, the high probability move from here is that price will rally and meet up with that BBC somewhere in here. It depends on how many candles it takes to get there. So then we would have a leg, a retracement to the BBC, another leg, and then a retracement to the BBC, which I believe leads to another leg at sometime Sunday night or Monday, takes us to this lowest weekly trading zone for this week. These numbers that you see on the chart, they will be good Sunday night. Now, let us not forget what happened last Sunday night. we had a gap lower open. Last Friday, we closed at 32.91. Sunday night, we opened at 32.69.75. It's about a 20-point lower gap open. Okay. Now, we did finally. Did we ever close the gap? Let me scrunch it up. We did not. That, in and of itself, is very unusual. Okay, the close last Friday was 32.93.5, and the swing high this week come on. Too much stuff. Looks like about 32.92. So we missed closing the gap by, I think the official term is a smidge. There's 32.92.75. I think that's the actual swing high. 32.92.75. $32.92. So then we did close it. Here, let me just jump to a different chart. I don't have to be so challenging. All right. Okay. So, yes, gap closed. Friday afternoon, Friday afternoon we closed at 32.91. Closed 32.91. So, yes, we did close the gap. It took a couple days. We got a 20-point gap lower open. Could that be in the cards? Could be. Okay. All right. So, if we catch a rally, some way, somehow, now you see that candle? We were just talking about, there's 6 minutes left in that candle now. We're talking about, maybe this will be the exit signal. Don't think so. Any questions on any of this? If you have a question, put it in the chat box. Be happy to answer for you. A 45-point opportunity, 2,000 per contract. If you've earned the right to trade 10 contracts, that's a $22,000 move. That's not a bad Friday, honestly. It's a pretty awesome Friday. Do these moves happen every day? No. But does the market make something available almost every day? Yeah. And these moves happen more often than they don't. Now, a couple days ago, I was showing you areas in the market where there was no follow-through. I mean, we just kept banging into resistance, resistance, resistance. Then we tried to make a run at this zone overhead, and man, we just could not get through there. Then this interesting doji popped up at the open on, what day was this? The 29th. Should have been Wednesday. Yeah. So we ran one more time back up to this area. And then this is where the unwinding began. I think I might have mentioned that in the Telegram channel. Not a prophecy, just pointing out that that's a spot where it might begin. It didn't. We came back after this consolidation. We rallied very nicely yesterday afternoon. Here's where this is where this move started to come, where it came from, this bearish cross. We had a bullish cross, then another bearish cross. Now, that right there tells you something. We had a bearish cross, and I guess we could say these pullbacks held. Then we rolled right into a bullish cross, and then rolled right back into a bearish cross on a 30-minute chart. That's very unusual because it holds more often than it doesn't. This didn't hold. Okay? And doesn't look like we're going to be getting an exit signal on this candle. All right, the Dow. Last night's alert said to be short, 28,670. We've dropped 470 points on the Dow. Alexa, 470 times 5.
470 times 5 is 2,350.
2,000. $350 per contract traded. Okay. So far, has there been an exit signal? No, I don't think so. I don't see how it could, but we'll take a look. No. Nope. Now the lowest weekly zone for the Dow is down here at 280.20 / 280.25. On the Russell, last night's alert said to consider being short. Hang on. $16.42. There's $16.42. About there. Oh, $16.42. So from $16.42, we've dropped to $16.15. Alexa, 42 minus 15.
42 minus 15 is 27.
Alexa, 27 times 50.
27 times 50 is 1,350.
Okay, $1,350 per contract traded. Every one of these setups, alerts, trades that you're seeing, every one of our traders, all passport holders, received these last night. At what time? 8:05 p.m. Eastern. On the NQ, last night's alert said to consider being short 91.50. And there's 91.50. Okay. Now this first drop was only 10 points at $20 a point. It's $200 per contract traded. Nothing wrong with that. Important prices, important areas are almost always tested. So we get back above the trigger. Now this time we trigger from 91.50 to 90.50. That's 100 points. But we continue on down to 9,000. That's a 150 point move at $20 per point. That's $3,000 per contract traded. $3,000 per contract traded if you've earned the right to trade 10 contracts. That's a $30,000 move. It took 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4.5 hours. Okay. Past performance is no indication of future results. Make sure you understand that. And then go take a look at youtube.com/CFRN. Every radio show has been archived there, audio, video, where I do this recap, just like I'm doing here today. I do it each and every day. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Okay? We don't just showcase our work when we have phenomenal days, because that would not be the truth about trading. We do it every day, no matter what kind of day we had. Our pledge to you is to always be transparent. You may not always like what we say, but we're always going to tell you the truth as we see it, as we understand it. So we did the S&P, we did the Dow, we did the Russell, we did the NQ. Let's take a look at crude. Last night's alert on crude was to consider being short 52.35. That's right here. We've put in a swing low at 51. So that's $1,350 per contract traded. $1,350 per contract. And however many contracts you've earned the right to trade, you multiply it times that number. Last but not least, here's gold. We're on the J contract now. On gold last night, we said to consider being long, 1592. The swing high has been 1593.80. So that's $180 per contract traded. Now for the week, our other alert service, Logic 247, hang on, here we go. This week, week 78 of Logic 247, we issued a total of 52 alerts. 3 never triggered, 4 are still working. That left us with 45 actionable alerts. 8 of those were stopped out. So 18% of alerts this week for Logic 247 were stopped out. Again, that's the truth about trading. And our benchmark is 20%. It's what it's been for the last year and a half. Coming up on a year and a half yet? Well, we're at week 78. You could do the math. And here's what this week looked like in Logic 247. I'm going to scroll through them with you. Then we're going to head off into the weekend. Okay. Here we go. Now last week, if you look at the screen. Last week we had 36 total alerts issued, 4 never triggered. That left us with 32 actionable. 5 of those were stopped out, 16%. Anytime we're at 20 and below, that's a good place to be. So week 78, we started the week out last Sunday night, 6 p.m. Eastern, as we do, 3 minutes after the Globex open. Crude oil, consider being short, and thumbs up means we hit the target. A red X means we got stopped out. So this is all Sunday night. It was a busy Sunday night. That hedge on the Dow, that was stopped out. Hedge on the NQ stopped out. These two, I think Val moved them down and recapped them lower. There's the Dow, there's the Russell. Same thing on this one. It's the Dow, the Russell, the NQ. This brings us up to Tuesday, 28th. S&P stopped out. There's Crude, another S&P, the Dow, NQ, S&P, Dow, Russell, NQ stopped out, gold, crude. Here's one that never triggered. Those red X's means they were stopped out. There's crude, there's the S&P, the Dow, NQ, gold. There's another one that never triggered. Crude. This is where we roll to the J contract in gold. There's the S&P, there's the Dow, the S&P, crude stopped out. S&P thumbs up, Dow thumbs up. These ones are still working. And that brings us up to today. S&P, Dow, NQ, crude, and gold. Now, some might say, well, why you got 2 alert services? Well, it's a great question. The Concierge Trade Alerts are based on previous price behavior. Logic 247 is based on current price behavior. The Concierge Alerts, that's a static report. You receive that every evening shortly after the Globex open. The numbers are good for the entire session. With Logic 247, that service runs around the clock from Sunday night at 6 p.m. Eastern to Friday afternoon at 5 p.m. Eastern. That is real-time, in-the-moment opportunity. When opportunity presents itself. See, think of it like this. With the Concierge Trade Alerts, static report issued once per session, hey, watch out for these numbers. Whereas Logic is saying, hey, look at what's happening right now. When both of those point at the same important price, important area, it always deserves a second look. Okay? Now, unfortunately, 9 out of 10 new traders listening to this radio program, unless they take some kind of affirmative action, will fail. It's not a forecast, it's not a prophecy, it's a statistical fact. Those numbers were first published, to my knowledge, by Futures Magazine way back in 2006. I was puzzled when I read the article. Number one, I had just started trading futures, so I wanted to know why. In any profession, why would 9 out of 10 who try fail? Because the article in Futures Magazine didn't offer a reason. They were just giving you the facts. I quickly figured it out. The reason 9 out of 10 failed is because they never had anyone teach them how to trade. Would you attempt to fly an airplane if no one had ever taught you how to fly? Probably not. How about brain surgery? How about baking a chocolate cake? I mean, if it weren't for the instructions on the back of the box, would you even attempt to bake a chocolate cake? Now, you got to be careful with those instructions on the back of the box. Because with cake, if you follow that recipe on the back, those instructions, chances are you turn out a pretty good cake. But trading's a whole different animal. Because when you're baking a cake, it might be for a birthday, so you're happy singing a song, but there's no emotion baked into the cake. Well, it's got love in it. That's not what I'm talking about. Okay? It's very important. If you don't learn from us, just promise me you'll learn from somebody. Don't just buy a $9 indicator off the internet that comes with a PDF and a million upsells and think that that's going to turn you into a trader, because it won't. That is a surefire way to become one of the 9 out of 10. If you want to become the 1 out of 10, oh, and by the way, if you can find someone who qualifies as the 1 out of 10, in other words, they trade consistently and profitably, ask them this question. You're doing pretty good. Did you have a teacher? They'll look at you very surprised 9 out of 10 times and go, well, yeah, how else would I learn? People are wired differently. 9 out of 10 people just assume they can do it themselves because it's so cheap to get started. But 1 out of 10 who's wired differently goes, this looks like a great opportunity. I can get in with very little money. I better find somebody that can teach me how to do this. Who are you? How are you wired? Think about that over the weekend. Okay? All right, good time for our good word for the day. Temptation. Luke 22:40. Pray that you will not fall into temptation. You can put on your best brave face in an attempt to convince others that you're doing better than you are. However, deep inside, you know the areas where you're most often tempted and fail. In fact, if you're gut level honest, chances are you keep some kind of a mental scorecard up there. Others may give you an A or a B on your report, yet you give yourself a failing grade. And when that happens often enough, you reach the place where you start thinking, man, what's the point in even asking God for forgiveness? I'm just going to go back and repeat the same sin over and over, and I'm going to have to go back to Him again, and pretty soon the shame, the humiliations are going to become so great I won't even be able to face Him. I won't be able to go back to Him. Instead of running to Him, I'll run from Him. Don't let that be you. There's a solution here. Jesus told His disciples in Matthew 26:41. Jesus said to the disciples, pray so that you don't fall into temptation. In other words, pray before the temptation comes. You'll be strengthened, fortified. You'll be able to resist. But I have prayed, you reply. then increase the dosage. Pray more. Before Jesus calmed the storm of Galilee, he spent the whole night in prayer. Now, we've all spent the whole night doing something we might not want to talk about even. When's the last time you spent the whole night in prayer? Jesus did it. We say we're followers of Christ. How much time do we spend doing the things he did? You might try this. One night, turn off your TV, your computer, your phone, and any other outside connections, and just spend time with God. Intentional time. Not accidental, not just because it's, Sunday morning, but intentional time with God. What did the old timers mean when they talked about praying through? Simply this: you can reach a point in prayer where you know God has given you the strength that you need, and victory is assured. In Hebrews 4:16, Paul said, "Let us approach God's throne of grace with confidence, so that we may receive mercy and find grace to help us in our time of need." So friend, what do you need when you keep failing? You need God's grace to forgive you, and you need his help to overcome temptation. So I encourage you, as we head into the weekend, pray before temptation comes, and God will make you an overcomer. And that's our good word for the day. It is the weekend, so CFRN Charter states that you must spend quality time with the family. Of course, I'll see you all in church on Sunday. Thanks so much for tuning in. Whoever you are, wherever you are, may God continue to richly bless you with his mercy and with his grace. And I'll see you at the bell.
Remember this: there is no greater return on investment than to see a human life changed and given hope. As always, pray hard and trade safe. Any financial information discussed on this show is simply the opinion of our host, Dwayne Reeves, his co-hosts, and guests. To learn more about trading Emini Futures or to take a 1-week free trial in our live trading room, call 1-866-928-3310. 866-928-3310. Information discussed on this radio program should not be construed as a recommendation to buy or sell any security. Always do your own due diligence and consult with a licensed securities broker or financial planner before making any investment decision.